We are just waiting on the Instagram. Just waiting on the Instagram. Okay, good. Hello, hello. Welcome to the live about fear of failure. Why I decided to make this live specifically about fear of failure, because people feel the fear of failure right now. This time of the year, the February, is usually when 2 months have gone by and people start to realize, okay, so whatever I set my goals, I kind of don't keep up with them or might not keep up with all of them. Whatever I have achieved, it's only temporary, that I'm happy with it. A lot of people feel like that. And so they feel disappointment. First of all, they feel disappointment in themselves. And that's how people get really, really frustrated. And the fear of failure kicks in. The fear of failure. If I didn't do this by this time, if I didn't do this by this time, if I wasn't successful in relationship, I, you know, failed. However, what is failure? Because this is one of the strongest fear we ever have. Fear of failure. We believe that if I fail, that's it. I'm gone. I'm done. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. People come to me and they say, I can't fail. I can't, because if I failed, it means that everything I worked for, every effort that I put into something, into the relationship, into the career, into the business, into the parenting, it's all not worth it. It's gone. Um, and when we work with fear of failure, people feel incredible release and improvement. I feel like this topic is very close and relates to me so much. I have experienced quite a few failures, and I call them failure. They are not failure for sure. We are going to cover why people started to say failure and started to name the experience as a failure. But I personally have had lots of illusions and fantasies about life, lots of expectations when I was young, and most of them didn't realize into the reality. And I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling that I failed. I actually failed. The feeling of what's the point? The feeling of I should have done something differently. The feelings that no matter what I do, it's never good enough or it never works out. All of these thoughts, they create a loop, a vicious cycle of future programming yourself for disappointment. And people start like, well, yeah, but how can I get out of this vicious cycle? Let's talk about it. Fear of failure is, or a failure itself, it's a social word. Remember that everything you see, a board, a book, a phone, right? It's all words. And so failure is another word that society put into some experience that, according to the social standards, are not successful. So people divorced, they failed at marriage. People didn't achieve something in the career, they failed at the career. Social standards put this word and made it so intense that now people made a huge fear out of it. The strongest fear out of almost, I think the fear of dying would be stronger than this. If you notice that you fail, let's just say, you don't fail, you experience, but let's call it like that for now. If you feel like you are failing, in life, right? Look for the pattern. Look for the pattern. For example, maybe you put too many expectations on something. I have experienced clients, and I would say majority of my clients, they put high expectations. High expectations on life, on results, on goals, on the outcomes, on people, on their kids, on their partners. Such huge expectations. It's like they're creating a fantasy. And fear of failure, is the desire to live in that fantasy. The desire to live. Subconscious mind, you see, is very creative. Subconscious mind has huge imagination. You have huge imagination. So very often you create the fantasy, the illusion in your mind, and you feel like, okay, yes, this is the life that I want. This is the life that someone pictured for me. Very often. And now with the social media, you now see all of these successes and you put yourself in a bigger illusion, in more fantasies. So fear of failure is the fear of reality, fear of living a real life. What is real life? Real life is day and night, up and down, sleeping and being awake. That's life. That's the reality, the real life. Things are happening inside of you, around you, in this world, in your family, in your friendships. It's inevitable. It's inevitable that you will experience ups and downs because it's like day and night. It's like all colors of the world. They're different. It's like emotions. You are given um, emotions, natural guides, let's just say, for you. And so one of them is anger. Another one is sadness, compassion, grief, frustration, all these natural emotions. There has to be an experience in this world for these emotions. But no, lots of people in their mind, logically, you already know. Logically, you're very smart. Logic always knows what's good or bad, what needs to be done, what shouldn't be done. Logically, we know, but it's only 5%. 95% created a fantasy, a world inside your mind, another world inside your mind. And in that world, there is a happy you without any failures, and even if the failure happens, it doesn't affect me. That's the illusion. And then where is the use of those emotions? Where would be if by nature you have anger, sadness, grief, compassion, frustration? If by nature you have these emotions, there would be an experience to feel these emotions. That's how the life is. That's the real life. And people create the fantasy that it only has to go like this. The life only has to go like this. Like this. That's it. If it doesn't go like this, if it's not getting better, then, well, I'm a failure. I'm a failure. A failure, right? Just a word that was put into experience. So, for example, a client comes to me and they feel very anxious, panic attacks, feeling depression and anxiety because they are in the process of separation. In the process of separation, something didn't work out, separation. And so in those 5-6 months, huge anxiety, huge. And then they come to me 2 years later. I think I had a client a couple of weeks ago who came to me right at the beginning of my career, very anxious about the separation. And now they're in another relationship and they're absolutely grateful. So I tell her, but 2.5 years ago, you told me that you're a failure. You told me that you failed at this marriage, you failed at this relationship. You failed. You were crying. And no matter what I tried and how I tried to help you, you still didn't want to listen. And now you come 2.5 years later and you tell me that it was one of the most incredible decisions I have ever made. So was it a failure? Another client comes to me incredible person, very talented, gifted, had a couple of businesses. And one of them, 8 or 10 years ago, was a bankruptcy. They filed a bankruptcy, so it didn't really work out for them. And so they made the belief that they are a failure. I'm a failure. And when they come to me, I didn't know them 10 years ago, but they come to me for a session. And now they're doing what they love. That bankruptcy business, they didn't like it. It was absolutely not aligned to to what they wanted to do. Now they found their passion. And now they tell me, you know what? I thought I was the biggest loser in the country because I had to file bankruptcy. And now I feel like, wow, this was the best thing that happened to me because of that, I felt whatever. I found what I wanted to do, or I found my passion. That's what happens. You feel that there is a failure, and we attach the failure and we start to call ourselves a failure. When the plan didn't work out, the plan, didn't work out the way you wanted. But it worked out if you look at the journey of your life. If you are going to be able to go 50 years from now into the future, you'll be able to see that. You just don't see it now. The doors are closed. You don't see, you see only the present. The subconscious mind overrides. You have anxiety, panic attacks, right? In order to overcome this specific feeling that I'm a failure, if I fail right now, that's it. That's one of the worst experiences in my life. Whatever it is, let's put it into any industry you have. You need to make a list of the things that were painful for you in your life. Maybe it's the same separation, divorce, something else, whatever it is, anything that you started to believe that you failed. And so you write that down and see how it turned out for you. Look at how it actually directed you on your journey. Or maybe if you're still in pain right now, in a constant pain, maybe it's still directing you to your journey. Maybe it's still showing you something and you don't see yet. Try to do that. Write down maybe 5, 6. I remember when I applied for permanent residence in Canada. I was still in Ukraine. I really wanted that. That was like, I put so many expectations. I really believed that that I can do it in 6 months or one year, and everything will be smooth. And it wasn't. I had a rejection of my application, and I believed at that moment that's it's a failure. I failed. I made a mistake. I started to blame myself. I wasn't in a self-development industry and area, and I wasn't even in that mindset. So I thought that I was a failure. I was a failure. And now I look at it. It's 10 years later. I now look at it and I was like, I applied for a much faster program after that. When I got rejected, I could have been still waiting for longer. But no, because my application was rejected, I got into a faster program and I got it faster. Another thing is looking for a job. I failed so many interviews. When I just came to Canada 8 years ago, applying for so many, I failed one after another. They would just tell me like, you know what? You just don't meet the requirement or whatever. And I thought I was a failure. God, thank you so much, because I found an incredible job after that. It was better than any other interview that I was. So the failure turned out to be a success. But in the moment, you don't know that. So in order to realize it, acknowledge it, please write down 5 or 6 of those hard, difficult moments in your life where you felt like I failed, and see how it actually turned out to be. That it directed you to something that you really needed to see or needed to hear. Maybe it directed you to a person. Maybe it directed you into the country or into the place to live, like whatever it is. But the most hardest, painful moments in our life direct us to the way, to our journey. And it turns out to be just part of the journey. And if you have that list in the hard moments, when you actually feel, okay, I'm a loser, I lost, I'm a failure, open that list. Open that list and look at it. Look at it and see how your life turned out to be. Even the depression, even the chronic depression with suicidal attempts sometimes become the biggest seed for the success. And if you need to read those stories, there are plenty of those stories. I had clients, because clients come to me in deep pain, right? But I had clients also who come to me to fast forward the healing or to fast forward the self-improve. They just come to me when they're already in a good mind space. And so a client comes to me and she tells me that 5 years ago, she was almost committing a suicide. She was on edge. That's it. She said, I'm done. I'm done. And so I don't know what, and I almost did it. She got into the hospital actually and was saved, but she attempted to do that. And of course, she would put lots of diagnoses that she's mentally unstable, neurosis, psychosis, lots of these things. But what happened after that is she said that, I don't know what happened that I didn't do that, or I was saved and didn't do it again, but she got pregnant. And when she got pregnant, her life just blossomed. Her life blossomed. So if you ever think that things are not working out for you right now, you just don't know the whole plan. You just don't see it. You just don't see the whole plan of it. And because you don't see it, you don't know. And then you see that this is the failure and that's it. Maybe this experience is part of the huge, incredible, beautiful journey, but you don't see that yet. And then you make assumptions. And subconscious mind is only living in the present moment, right? Right now, pleasure, right now, away from pain. It makes assumptions. You make assumptions. You become a meaning maker. You make meanings to every event. What are 5 ways how you can overcome failure? But it's not overcoming. It's not remember, we are not eliminating anything. We are not eliminating our problems, because when we want to eliminate our problems, we then believe that there is a part of me that is not good, so I reject that part. Psyche doesn't understand that. For the psyche, it's self-rejection. If you reject some parts of you, I want to eliminate it. I had clients who told me, can you make me forget my boyfriend or my girlfriend, or I want to forget my own. I was like, how? How can you go against nature? Like subconscious mind never forgets. How can you go against nature? There are hypnotherapists on this planet that do promote this service that they can make you forget. But it's like, how can it happen if subconscious mind never forgets? Ever. This has been already proven. And it's the reality. So you won't be able to forget. So don't try to eliminate something from your life. But what you can do is you can stop using the word failure. Not only in your speech, not only in your communication, not only in the therapist chair, but actually in your mind as well, in your thoughts. Your thoughts are very fast, and it's not very easy to catch them right away. It's a skill. So I encourage you to learn. On 11th of March, there will be my course in both languages, Ukrainian and English. There will be a course mind guide that will teach you how to talk to your mind and how to talk to your mind in the most beneficial, effective way. So stay tuned. I'm going to post lots of stories, lots of reels about that course, so you won't miss it. But stop using the word failure. Stop using the word failure. It could be experience. It could be just an event. It could be a situation. But as you stop using it in your mind as well, you're going to see the shift. You're going to see that that word creates a lot of symptom. A word failure creates self-blame, shame, and guilt. And depression. Because I failed, which means I'm not good enough. If I'm not good enough, then I'm not worthy. If I'm not worthy, then I'm useless. And we can go into that rabbit hole like for forever. So that's the first way to get out of that habit to say the word failure. Second step is to get out of your desire to predict the future. What is failure? What is the fear of failure? It's when you want the things to happen the way you want, right? Expectations. Is that we think we're gods. We think that we can predict it. We can predict. And if I decided that I want to do that, for example, you're a sales manager and you want to sell 100 software systems, and you made that plan and you're like, I'm going to sell it. And yeah, one day you will. One time you will, another time you won't. But as you put expectations, as you put requirements from the universe is going to kick you in the butt really fast, showing you that stop predicting. Stop predicting. Live in the present moment. Do the work with love and compassion and dedication. Then you'll have what you want. Another step. Release the pain, the fear of punishment. The big cause of the fear of failure is the fear of punishment, right? Very often, not in all the cases, but I've seen that in clients that I have a strong fear of punishment. I will be punished. And if I will be punished, then I will run away from any initiative. Because if I make an initiative, there is a chance I'm gonna make a mistake. So I will run away from it, or I will over control, like hyper control the outcomes. I'm going to control everyone involved in this project. I'm going to control my partner, my kids, everyone. Living in a huge unhappiness all this time. Yeah, there is a big chance that you're going to achieve what you want, but you're going to look back and you're like, oh my goodness, I haven't even lived. So we don't want that, right? We don't want that. So release the fear of punishment. Maybe you were punished in childhood. Maybe you were punished for doing an initiative, for like doing something on your own. And if you were punished, you realize, okay, what's the point? What's the point? I'm still going to fail. When we are punished, we believe that we are failing at being ourselves. When we are punished for something in childhood, we believe that I failed at showing up for myself, of being myself, whatever it is. So, fear of punishment. Look into this. Failure, the fifth step. Failure is a mystery, right? It's a mystery it's an illusion, right? Illusion. It's a situation, just a situation that is not according to your plans and expectations. That's it. Where did you start to put expectations? Think about it. Think about that moment. Where have you started to put expectations on people? Like, he should be like this, she should be like this, they should be like this, or this job has to satisfy all of my desires and requirements, or this should be like this. Where this word started to be your everyday word, should, must, have to. Where did you start to put expectations? It has to be like this and nothing else. In many cases, our expectations will not be met. Failure, right? Failure is, let's just have the ups and downs of life. The failure is a down, right? The downs of life. When we have that, it's inevitable It's inevitable. It's not possible to have 100%. Okay, it's not even possible to have 90% of these up moments. No, the clouds will come because nothing is permanent. So you might feel very, very happy, very successful. And today's like, yes, yes, it's good. It's like, it's just the way I want to. It's only going up. And there will be moments when you're going to crash because nothing is permanent. This is as well the law of the nature. You can't go against that law. So even if you're very, very happy, there will be moments when you're going to be very, very sad. If you're very, very calm and peaceful, there will be moments when you're very, very frustrated. The same with ups and downs of life. Descent is a part of life, just as an ascent. That's it. So avoiding downs of life, it's avoiding life in itself. So maybe you just don't want to live in this reality. Our subconscious mind brings these fantasies, brings the illusion. So maybe you don't want to live in the reality. It's too painful to live in the reality. I'm going to live in my own world where there is no failure or there is no challenging experience, difficult situations. And so when we are afraid of living, here comes our fear of the procrastination, the self-sabotage, right? Fear of success, not doing things that you want. The depression comes. That's fear of living. Fear of living life fully with all the emotions that are out there. I remember how Angelina Jolie, she used to say, right, go right through it. When you have a negative, painful, grief, difficult experience, go right through it. Don't run away, under, up, go right through it. Feel it all. Your feelings cannot kill you or destroy you. What is these failures, let's just say, these experiences that are not according to expectations? What are they telling you? They're telling you one simple, straightforward thing, that you're not God. That you're not God, that you're human with its own flaws. That you can be really good at this industry or this skill, but you won't know this. You will be very good at, I don't know, IT or software or accounting or therapy, whatever. You're going to be really good at cooking, but you have to admit that you won't know this. You will know some industries, some good skills, and then you won't have any skills regarding this. It's admitting that you when you admit it, accept it, acknowledge it, realize it, you have an insight. That helps a lot. You're never a failure. Remember that. You're never, ever a failure. You're never a failure. It's just the plan that didn't work out. It's the plan that didn't work out according to your expectations, but it's a part of a bigger plan. A part of a bigger plan that is out there for you. You don't see it because you can't see the step number 10 if you haven't taken the step number 2 or 1. You can't. It's not possible. You can't control the outcome. You can't control. If you decide to control the outcome, it's going to be hard. And I'm going to see if you have any questions. If you have any questions, and I will absolutely respond to everyone. So please give me that. Give me that. Okay. I don't see anything, so that's good. So I hope that helps you. I hope that really helps you with the fear of failure. Please watch it. Please share it with someone who needs to hear this. These are important words. These are very important words about the fear of failure. You're never a failure. It's a part of a plan. You don't see it because you don't see it yet. I love you all. If you need help with to overcome the fear of failure, there will be a course, a 7-step course that I'm going to launch 11th of March. That is going to have it's beautiful course. It's short mini course. Each day, it's resolving something, uncovering, getting insights, a practice, and a class to learn something. And it's going to be in both languages, Ukrainian and English. I love you all. Be healthy emotionally and physically. Bye.